first off, are any anime licensed and unlicensed that you're interested in doing? And the second one is, can you make the movie reference if you're a character? Like quote from movie. And then like you just like for example like on the like the in your anime character say Ayres, for example.
Oh. But how that's very I forgot what the first question was. Oh. Yet to be done.
It's hard to know what's been licensed, you know, because some other company has to like keep the secret. So it's hard,
I know of one. I'd like to work on Sayuki Burial since there is no Genin anymore, and we got Sayuki taken away from us. I'd like to work on Burial now that I know it's finished in Japan. As far as unlicensed shows, I don't watch anime illegally, so I wouldn't know unless it's gotten. You laugh, I'm totally serious. The people that do watch it illegal are the reason the industry is dying. Come tomorrow and find all about that. But the only shows we ever hear about are shows that get super hyped, like Deep Gray Man and Oran and shows like that. But if we don't watch them, we don't know, why it is we want to work on them. The only reason I know Sayuki Burial is because I was kind of married to that show for a year. But I would hope that maybe we could get to redub Reload, but that's another story. My second one actually is, we worked this into a commentary. I'm a big British television fan. Are there any Doctor Who people in the room? Alright, then you will know who I'm talking about. Catherine Tate, who has just recently been added to the Doctor Who season. She was the very loud and complaining bride in the Christmas episode. She plays this character in her variety show called Warren Cooper, who is a Chad. And she does this whole thing about, look at my face, am I bothered? Am I bothered? Do I look bothered? And so during the Negima commentary, I get Neggy to go, look at my face, I look bothered, I ain't bothered. And like, that's just a joke for Catherine Tate fans. We're going to try to work it into the show. Sometimes we even work lines from movies into shows when it's applicable, but if not, it's on the commentary for Catherine Tate and Doctor Who fans. Now you, Laura Bailey. Oh,
goodness gracious. We actually named one of our Shin-Chan episodes. It had a different name, but because of the topic of the vignette, we ended up naming it, It Puts the Lotion on the Baby. And I got to say that in Jim's voice, which is, it puts the lotion on the baby.
Alright,
As far as the anime thing, I don't know. I don't know.
I'd like to see
Let's
Johnny
do
do
it.
a sci-fi movie.
Let me see. I should do some dumb voice that just does not match. I mean, not dumb voice, but one that just would sound stupid with whatever movie, right? Let's see.
I'm Batman.
Not very threatening, is it?
What's Linda Thurston?
So, moving on. Yes, you're on. Oh, into an anime? I don't know. No. I mean, I experiment with different voices, but it's not like I go, ooh, that would be good in an anime. You know? Like,
Yeah, we don't get
yeah, we don't, really. The choice is really kind of, you go in and audition, and they tell you what they want. And, or they say, we like what you did in this. Can you do something like that for the audition? The only time I got to do anything that I ever wanted wasn't an anime, it was a game. And but it wasn't like, it was thrown on me. I was actually playing another character, and then they were like, hey, we got this little chicken monster we want you to play. And so it's just like short, fat, stubby little chicken monster. And they're like, so I just come up with a voice. And it wasn't one that I like practiced and rehearsed. And so like the only thing I could come up with was like, so that was the voice, right? That's so stupid, but they used it. And and then I think it was Wild Arms 4 or something like that. And so it stuck with me. And like everywhere I went, I was talking like this. Hello, everybody. And so I went to I did this pilot. And I was using the voice. I was like, oh, how's it going? I'm just like talking, right? Because it's like stuck with me and I'm being an idiot. And then they're introducing me to some of the other actors that are in this pilot and whatever, you know. And then there's a guy behind me, and I go, oh, and here's what's his name? And I'm like, oh, and it's like a little person. And he's like, hello, Saboten. Nice to meet you. And I was like, nice to meet you too. So, it's hot here. Is it hot here? Yeah. That is not a good thing to take voices away from the booth.
Yeah, unlike Johnny, we don't get to pick voices most times. Like, I can only think of 2 times where I did a voice that was kind of up to me. One was in Hello Kitty, and I don't know where that voice came from. It's one of the, any Hello Kitty people in the room? Okay, it's an old retired character. His name is Hanky O'Don. He's a sea monster. But he has this big bubblegum lips, and he looks like a little short, fat creature from the Black Lagoon. But he's goofy, and it was Hello Kitty's animation theater, so we're telling fairy tales. And he was the emperor in the emperor's new clothes. So he had to kind of be ridiculous. And what ended up coming out of my mouth, and I didn't plan on it, was something that sounded like the cross between Carol Channing and Droopy the dog. And so, out of nowhere, and I used to spit everywhere when I did this, but he had this real lispy, kind of weird, like, oh, goldfish. And he had this really, like, over-exaggerated lisp. And the only other time I got to do something ridiculous like that was when we did Daikon Brothers. Because people always cast me as little kids. I never get to play big mean people or whatever, and it was a musical show like Beck, so they had to cast it based on music, but the people at ADD didn't want to hire me because they didn't think my voice was low enough. Luckily, my brother was directing that show, and he goes, have you ever heard Craig early on a Sunday morning? Like, he does that. So I got to go in and literally just be as gruff and as raspy as possible, so that, Jesus Christ, Marco, like all that stuff was just me, like, oh, okay, I'm going to pretend to have a low voice now. But usually the directors take that out of our hands. They're like, more wimpy. Really, more wimpy? What about you, Laura? Do they say more sexy? More sexy.
Is that possible? No, I guess one of the weird, I used to play around with this like weird nasally, kind of, almost like Chucky-esque, from Rugrats, you know what I mean? I don't know, I can't do it now. But, so when the auditions for Shin Chan came up, I actually had kind of that weird nasally sound in the auditions, and I didn't know that I had done it until I went back and watched on YouTube my audition, which is apparently on the DVD, and it sounds all like weird and nerdy and not quite Shin, so yeah. I got to do it, but it didn't end up transferring to the show. So that was interesting. I see a little hand, but I'm going to go with the one behind the little hand.